Miss Fortune is a ranged AD carry that focuses on high damage to single targets with her double up and love tap, as well as groups with her ultimate bullet time. But it takes more than a highlight reel wombo combo to be considered a great Miss Fortune player. So how did this Miss Fortune player get a 78% win rate in 115 games? We're about to find out by watching some insane plays and mechanics by the #1 Miss Fortune player in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Twigger and welcome to another #1 player in the world video, and this time I am very excited to be showing you the #1 Miss Fortune player in the world, Saint Spoon King. Now Saint Spoon King is currently a North American master tier player, currently sitting at 71 LP. Now I believe that this is an alternate Smurf account because they are currently level 47 on this account, being master tier with 71 LP, 60 wins and 16 losses, which makes it a 79% win rating, and he's currently in a game with 5 challenger players and 3 grandmasters, and the other 2 are currently master tier. So believe this is a Smurf. If you're a high elo player and you know who this is, I would love to hear about it in the comment section below. But in terms of this Miss Fortune player, absolutely insane stats. 115 games played with a 77% win rate. The KDA is nuts. 8.6 kills, 3.6 deaths, and 7.3 assists on this Miss Fortune. And in terms of her creep score, ends up going with 212.8 CS on average per game, which is 8.6 minions per minute. So we're definitely dealing with an incredible player here, and of course in the ADC role, has to get those minions, has to secure that farm. So very excited to see what this Miss Fortune can do. In terms of the runes that Miss Fortune is running in the precision tree: Conqueror, Presence of Mind, Bloodline, and Coup de Grace, and then Sorcery, Absolute Focus, and Gathering Storm, with 2 Adaptive Force runes and 1 Armor rune. But it looks like she already did get hooked by that the hook by the death sentence from Thresh, so gonna have to watch out for that one. Now, in terms of who we've got in this game, up in the top lane, we have got a Darius versus a Jace, which should be a pretty volatile lane. Lee Sin versus Graves in the jungle. Galio versus Akali in the mid lane. And then we got Bard Miss Fortune versus Jhin and Thresh. So definitely some fairly meta lanes. I'm going to be very interested to see how this game progresses. But we're mainly going to be focusing in on this Miss Fortune. Once again, eating another death sentence, taking quite a bit of damage from, of course, that Thresh and also the Jhin auto attacks. But nice little trade back from that Bard with the Cosmic Binding on the Jhin. So a couple little things that I want to clarify just before we get fully into this. I'm going to be focusing on the Miss Fortune gameplay, but I would love to see what happens on the remainder of the map to try to see how this whole game is going to progress. But with this Miss Fortune, a couple key things with this performance summary. As you can see, in comparison to average master tier Miss Fortune players, this player is above everybody in terms of kill participation, gold per minute, CS per minute, kills and deaths, like absolute insane stats coming on this performance summary. And a couple other things: nearly 70% kill participation, which actually happens to start way earlier than normal and average master tier Miss Fortunes. And then finally, the damage done to turrets. I thought this was an insane stat because this Miss Fortune player does 7,313 damage on average to turrets, while the average master tier player is like 2.5 thousand damage below that. So some insane stuff. Means that they're getting to the turret a lot faster, they're doing a lot of damage to the turret, and potentially that also comes from that added team fight participation. Now, it looks like we are going to see a level 3 dive on this Darius. Currently a lot of damage going down, perfectly executed so far. Jace is going to take a lot of damage, not going to die though, and the bleed is not going to be enough. 15 HP, walking away with that first blood. Very nicely played, but it looks like a response mirrored on the opposite side of this map. It looks like the Lee Sin is currently here. The Bard is, of course, you're going to use that magical journey to get away from this one, but looks like the minion wave is currently going to be pushing up very slowly. Lee Sin's going to have to waste a lot of time here waiting for this minion wave to collapse. It looks like Miss Fortune might know that something's up, so might just go B to spend whatever gold she has. Very interesting stuff currently in favor of this Graves. And it looks like the Jhin was not able to interrupt on that Miss Fortune, but it looks like Lee Sin is here to do a counter gank. The TP is going to be coming down from this Jace though, and it looks like Bard is currently here to support. Graves is currently trying to do as much damage to this Akali as possible. Who's the kill going to go to? It's going to go over to Keel's Graves. Very nicely played. Beautiful counter gank. Great roam from the Bard. Didn't exactly want to go B right then and join the Miss Fortune, so roaming up to the mid lane like a good support does, and it's securing a kill onto that Akali. Very nice stuff currently from this red side. So we currently have a kill and an assist on both the Jace and the Graves, and an assist on both the Galio and the Bard. So it's going to be interesting to see how this game progresses. Right now, the Miss Fortune did go back and just picked up her refillable potion and also a longsword to get that additional damage, but looks like currently down about 13 CS, which means that Jhin is coming back with a bunch of health pots. Well, actually, the health pots that he already had probably with his boots at the start, a control ward, and a pickaxe. So, going to be having a little bit more oomph to his auto attacks than the Miss Fortune, but, you know, it just takes one solid ultimate at level 6 with the synergy between the Cosmic Binding from Bard and then the ultimate from the Miss Fortune to absolutely decimate this bot lane in a 2v2. But we are going to get the CC chain coming down from that Jhin. Lots of damage with the crit. Crit shot is still currently available. Amazing flash out of the Flay. It looks like Bard's going to try to take this magical journey. Going to also land a pretty impressive double binding on the Lee Sin and the Thresh, but that was the Thresh's flash traded in favor of the Miss Fortune flash. And now I would say, as an aggressive support main, burning your flash for the ADC's flash when you're running Hex flash, I know it's a lot of flashes to keep track of, but if you've got Hex flash, that trade is worth it every single time you do it. So now this Miss Fortune is going to be a little bit more susceptible to these Thresh hooks, but we do have the Graves coming in here one more time. I believe the Akali is going to have her smoke charge, so she's not really going to be in any danger. They're just going to shuriken away from that. So gonna need to look to see right now these Thresh death sentences are landing pretty darn well. He is going to try to walk up there, but it looks like nothing's going to happen in that bot lane. But we do currently have a jungle versus jungle fight. Graves is doing a lot of damage to this Lee Sin. Lee Sin's going to have to just run for it because currently Graves is level 5. But here's the Darius. Smite going to go down to give him just a little bit more HP. It looks like the Q is going to land from the Lee Sin, and it's going to be not enough. It looks like Darius is going to be the one falling here, and everybody's currently getting away on this team. The Shuriken did land onto the Galio, but I don't know if she's brave enough. She is brave enough to go in, but she does have level 6. But an amazing Sonic Wave from the Lee Sin is going to be enough to secure the kill on Galio, but now Akali's going to have to do an amazing flash over the wall into the brush, trying to keep herself alive, trying to poke with that Q as much as humanly possible. Right now, Lee Sin is actually fairly healthy, and he is going to land the Sonic Wave onto the Graves. That's going to be a double kill. Jace is now the only one alive. He does get amazing little juke onto the... Oh, he didn't actually juke the Shuriken. I thought he did, but that's going to be the kill for the Akali. Unbelievable mechanics coming out from this Lee Sin and the Akali. The Darius was the sacrificial lamb there. I believe he only picked up 1 assist from that entire fight, but Darius sacrificed himself for Lee Sin and Akali to absolutely outplay the Galio, the Graves, and the Jason that one. So very, very nice stuff. And tying the game up 3-3, and currently only a 200 gold lead in favor of this red side. Very, very interesting. I'm sorry to be away from the bot lane for so long. I know we want to see how this Miss Fortune is currently handling the wave. Currently pushing it in very, very hard, allowing the Bard to kind of roam up to the mid lane. He did actually flash for that Akali. No, Bard! Loves how he gives the little Space Groove Lux emote there just to show that he kind of got a little bit outplayed. Tried to flash bind and then get the auto attack off, the empowered auto attack from the Meeps onto that Akali, but unfortunately Akali just a little bit too quick with that E, manages to get away from the Bard and secures herself, I believe, her second kill of this game. 2-1-1. So currently very impressive stuff. Thresh is currently trying to catch out this Graves and the Galio, trying to maybe provide some pressure. Is going to take a little bit of that ward control away from that dragon area. Interesting stuff as well that it's 8 minutes in this game and no one's really looking at this dragon so far. Everybody seems pretty content just doing their laning phase. Miss Fortune did go back and pick up that Noon Quiver. Once again, that can kind of build into anything, but based on what I've seen Miss Fortune do, I'm expecting a Kraken Slayer to come out during this game. But, you know, Miss Fortune is one of those champions that can do fairly well with most of these abilities. But it looks like Graves is here, taking the magical journey with the Bard. An amazing Cosmic Binding is going to land onto that Thresh. The heal coming down from the Jhin to try to actually get him out of this one. And it looks like the heal movement speed is going to be enough. Graves going immediately back in, though, but he doesn't know that the Lee Sin is here. Flay is going to land as well. Graves is going to go down. An amazing time for that Lee Sin to be here. It looks like the ultimate is coming down from the Jhin. That curtain call is only going to land once. Is it going to land twice? No, but it looks like the Miss Fortune bullet time is going to be used to try to get away from this fight, but it's not going to be enough. She stops it, and Lee Sin goes, that's my time to shine, lands the Sonic Wave onto the Bard, and that is going to be one dead meat maker. Meep your maker, Bard. So currently 0-2-1 for this Bard. It looks like almost a 26 CS difference between this Jhin and the Miss Fortune. So currently I think we can safely say that the very early game... Oh man, Jhin is going to go in on the... Sorry, Graves. Jace is what his name is going to go in on this one. The Darius being taken very, very low. Akali's going to kind of try to go in this one, but it looks like the flash from the Jace is going to keep him alive for just a little bit longer, getting away from that ultimate. Bard trying to get in with the magical journey, but he accidentally screwed it up just a little bit. He doesn't have his ultimate to secure the kill onto this Akali, but it looks like like Graves is here to try to secure the kill onto the Darius. He is going to do that. The Darius Q is not going to come out and heal him and keeping him alive for a little bit longer, so he is going down. Currently, Darius having a really rough time this match, 0-3-1. Luckily, the Shuriken from that Akali did just miss the Graves, but Bard is here for some support. So hopefully the Akali won't be able to get anything done here, and it looks like Bard is going to do what Bard does best, and that is roam the map, collecting meeps, and getting kills. So it looks like the Rift Herald being started up at 9 minutes and 50 seconds into this game. Looks like a couple wards being taken down. Misfortune has gone back and picked herself up a dagger, but I don't know if they're actually going to be able to finish this one off. Pings are going down, but the Thresh and the Akali didn't get to see this one. Flash coming down from the Galio is only going to land the taunt onto the Thresh. Currently, their jungler isn't available for this one. The jungler was currently doing the Rift Herald, so I don't know what the Galio was thinking, but Misfortune is here for a little bit of support. There's the ultimate coming down from the Bard. It's not going to be enough, but it looks like Lee Sin might very well go down. The kick is going to come down. Dragon's Rage, not enough to kill the Bard, so it looks like Graves are going to pick up his 4th kill of this game. Death sentence landing onto Saint Spoon King, but it is not going to be followed up on. Darius now fighting the Graves for about the 3rd time this game. He does have his ultimate available though, getting those stacks up, but he's not going to go for this one. Is the death sentence going to land, or are they going to follow up? No, it doesn't look like Thresh has enough mana for this one, so he is just going to go back. Darius once again flexing his muscles a little bit, but did not want to commit to that one. And during all of that, up in the top side of the map, Jhin has been down here, securing himself a ton of plates, 96 CS to 71. He is absolutely loving life right now with the amount of gold that he probably has in his pocket. But it does look like that the Bard Magical Journey is going to land, get him right close to the Jhin, but unfortunately it's just not going to be enough. The Cosmic Binding doesn't land. The Make It Rain from Misfortune is not enough slows to actually slow the Jhin down enough to get a kill. So he's going to just walk away from this one, probably clear out this wave, and then maybe go back. So a little bit of breathing room here. Lee Sin is here, but it looks like they do know that this is happening. So Magical Journey is going to come out. Curtain Call currently being cast as well. Looks like a great use of that Blast Cone to try to get away from this one, but it looks like the Curtain Call is going to land, but the last one is not going to land. Graves now being, no, not going to get CC'd by that Jhin. Galio is currently here for support though. Bard is the first casualty of this fight, but it looks like Lee Sin might have bit off more than he can chew. Galio is going to try to get in here. Graves is trying to do the damage. One more auto attack. That is going to be enough. Bullet time coming down from the Misfortune. Not enough, but the Make It Rain is going to be enough to slow down this Thresh, missing the Flay, and that is going to be the first kill of the game going in favor of our Misfortune. Very, very nice team fight there. Akali just kind of like ran off back to the mid lane to try to push this wave before going back, but it looks like the Galio and the Graves are both here. They might be able to do something here. The Shuriken going to come out to get the Akali just a little bit of distance, but is it going to be enough distance to get away from this Graves, who's going to have his E up fairly shortly? No, 5 seconds on that one, so he is not going to chase that one. And it looks like the Rift Herald is going to go down in the mid lane. Not going to take this first turret, but definitely going to give the Graves and the Galio quite a bit of additional gold. Graves is now fighting the Lee Sin once again. The Galio ultimate is coming down, but they do have the Thresh here, so Thresh is just going to use that Lantern to get the Lee Sin out of danger. But it looks like the Rift Herald was summoned, was used, not taking down all the plates, not taking down the first turret, so that first turret of the game is still available. It looks like Jhin is probably going to want that one down in the bot lane. This is just currently turned into a vision war, and Graves is being so aggressive. Knowing how many people are around here, he stays to go for the blue buff. This might very well be the death of Graves, but looks like Bard, Jace, and the Galio are here to try to support him, but it's not going to be fast enough. Lee Sin going to pick up the kill onto the Graves, and it looks like Lee Sin trying to find another Q angle, but not going to find it. Magical Journey going to get the red team out of this one. And I'd love to talk about what the Misfortune is doing, but in all honesty, it's just been farming. She hasn't really been present at a lot of these fights as of right now. Even with such a high kill participation, it normally tapers in around like the 15 to 20 minute mark is when she really starts participating in these team fights. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes from that. Nice little knockoff from the Galio and the Cosmic Binding from the Bard. Looks like the Akali is going to go in with that ultimate, though this might have killed the Galio. No, she doesn't actually land the second part, but no, it is going to be enough. Bard landing an amazing Cosmic Binding, but the auto attack isn't enough. She's going to go back in, the heal coming down, and that is going to be a dead Bard. I could have sworn that that final auto attack was going to be the final nail in the coffin for that Akali. Unfortunately, that Shock Blast also missing the accelerated Shock Blast, so it's not going to be enough to kill that Darius, but I could have sworn that Akali was dead, but she hung on by a thread, getting the heal from the Jhin and securing another kill. Currently 6-1-1, and Bard currently sitting at 0-4-2, so it has been a very rough game for this Bard. Misfortune did go back. Looks like she's currently waiting for an item. It's the only reason that I would be running back and forth. And it does look like we're having the Kraken Slayer Misfortune. So there's going to be a lot of damage coming out of MF. Going to be interesting to see what other types of kind of attack speed items she's going to have, or if she's going to go for more of a crit build here. But very, very dangerous stuff when you get a full-on bullet time with a lot of attack damage in your way. And of course, the auto attacks and the additional attack speed from Strut and things like that are going to do wonders with Kraken Slayer. In the mid lane, just looks like Galio's currently farming. In terms of, we've got a little bit of a downtime here, a little bit of a lull in the game. So 14.5 minutes into this game, 11 to 7, 24.6k to 24.3k. So just a simple 300 gold lead in favor of the blue side, though it doesn't feel like it. It's actually anybody's game at this point. It's always interesting seeing those gold charts and just kind of figuring out, it probably doesn't feel that good in game for the red team, considering everything that's happened in the past few minutes, but it's very, very close right now. And in terms of CS, 120 to 68 in that top lane. That's where that gold lead certainly has gone. And also in the jungle, 101 to 81 in favor of that Graves, and then 108 to 95 in favor of Akali, 145 to 120 in favor of the Jhin in that bot lane. But looks like we are kind of positioning up for a fight here. They don't know that this is currently warded, so they do know that everybody's currently posturing up. Graves is going to go over the wall. It looks like Magical Journey is going to be used as well. The TP is coming in. It was a great ultimate coming off that Bard onto the Jhin. Not going to be enough yet, but it looks like the flash coming down from the Jace. Everybody's currently so low. Bullet time is going to reign supreme, and that is going to be a kill onto the Jhin for Misfortune. Jace is going to pay with his life, but Lee Sin did go down as well. The slow from the empowered auto attack is not going to be enough currently for the Thresh. It looks like a nice hook going onto the Graves, and Darius is trying to do as much damage as possible to kill this Bard, but the Galio's going to keep him alive for a little bit longer with that hero's entrance, and Akali is not going to be able to do anything yet. That is a 3-for-1 trade in favor of the red side. And did I say that the blue side had a couple hundred gold lead? I misspoke. It is now the red side that has a couple hundred gold lead. Very well played in that team fight. And it looks like right now everybody's currently pinging for that dragon. Mountain Dragon, of course, being very, very nice for that additional little bit of tankiness. And it's interesting that we're then going to have either an Infernal or a Cloud, and it looks like they have chosen the Cloud. Always a very, very less exciting soul to come up. I tend to prefer the Infernals or the Oceans or the Mountain because I feel like they're incredibly impactful. And to be honest, when you've got somebody, you get that ultimate reset just a little bit more. But you know, it's one of those things that the ultimate reset is fairly nice. The additional ultimate cooldown on people like Bard, Misfortune, Galio, Graves, it's great. But to be honest, the Cloud Soul on Jace is very, very good. Similar to an Udyr, when he activates that ultimate, presses that R button, gaining that movement speed, can actually be very impactful in the game. It's not going to be very useful for many of the others, but you know, this is the hand that we were dealt, people. We got a Cloud Soul coming up this game. So Misfortune did go back and picked herself up a BF sword. Now, the BF sword could very well turn into an Infinity Edge, but I wouldn't think that she would rush the Infinity Edge so early, so it could also be a Bloodthirster, something along those lines. Going to be interesting to see what that ends up building into, but does have those Berserker Greaves, has the Kraken Slayer, currently 3-0 and 3, so it was a very, very quick turnaround when Misfortune started participating in these team fights and everybody started kind of grouping around the bot side. Misfortune is now very much in this game, but there's a really I can't believe that Jhin W didn't land, but it looks like the Akali's going to have enough damage as it is. He tried to use his ultimate to get over that wall, but that collateral damage is not going to get him far enough, and Akali is going to pick up her 7th kill of the game, already sitting on that Rift Maker and 10 stacks on her Dark Seal. I would be very, very excited to see a Majai's Soul Sealer being built in a challenger game, because right now this Akali is currently the carry potential that this blue team needs. Looks like an amazing death sentence onto this Misfortune, and an even more amazing Q coming down from that Lee Sin, but they are not going to follow up on that one. A 3 versus 3 turret dive probably is not smart against a Galio who could just taunt you under the turret and lock you down for ages. So it's a very smart idea not to go in on that one, but some pretty impressive skill shots currently being fired off of Thresh and Lee Sin. So it'll be interesting to see what they end up doing with those skill shots later on into this game. But Misfortune now, of course, doing quite a bit of damage, but still about 27 CS behind this Jhin. So still has a very, very long way to go before she's tied up, but currently probably ahead in gold because of those 3 kills and 3 assists. So she's feeling pretty good right now. The second Rift Herald is currently available. Lee Sin is going to try to get in onto this Jace, but a huge amount of damage coming down already just from that solo combo from the Jace. It looks like the Graves is now here to try to get some damage to Q, and the ultimate being used, but Miss Fortune is here for the backup. Same with the Bard. You thought it was a 2v1, it actually was a 2v4. Doesn't look like the healing is going to be enough for the Darius. The ultimate not enough damage to kill the Jace, and that is going to be a free 2-for-nothing exchange in favor of that red side. And now Miss Fortune sitting at 5-0-3. And this is something that is a little bit scary. One thing, it's kind of the same with both sides of the coin right now on both teams, is that there is not a lot of gold around the team. It looks like Miss Fortune is just going to go right ham onto that Jhin. There's not really a lot of gold dispersion on either of these teams. Right now, it's Akali and Lee Sin and Miss Fortune and Graves. So the thing is, if you do manage to kill one of those targets, the damage from the team just ends up getting halved. Right now, Jace is doing a ton of damage because even though he doesn't have the kill score, he has got a 67 minion lead over this Darius. So his gold is looking good, his itemage is looking good, so look for a lot of damage coming out from him as well. But currently, the Galio and the Bard are kind of just along for the ride. You know, they're going to do some crowd control. They're going to make sure that they can peel off the Miss Fortune and the Graves. But in terms of damage right now, they're not too worried about that. The Dragon is going to be coming up in the next couple minutes here. It is going to be the first Cloud Dragon of this game. So it'll be interesting to see if either of these teams is really looking for that Soul as a win condition. Normally, Cloud Soul really not that big of a win condition. Normally, you probably want to look for the Rift Heralds or the Baron, but the second Rift Herald was not picked up this game. Looks like Miss Fortune did go back and picked up a Vamp Scepter. So yeah, this very well might be a Bloodthirster, which I think is a very interesting pickup. The Akali has quite a bit of damage for that assassination potential on the Miss Fortune, so probably trying to utilize that shield that you get from Bloodthirster to maybe just mitigate some of that assassination potential. And as I say, assassination potential, this Akali is just laying in wait. She does know that the Miss Fortune is there, and this could be the exact thing that we were looking for. Is this going to be enough damage? Miss Fortune taking an absolute ton of damage already. The ultimate was not used by this Akali yet, but the Curtain Call currently doing quite a bit. The ultimate coming down from Miss Fortune. Lee Sin is going to get the first kill of this fight onto the Grace, but it looks like Lee Sin is going to pay with that with his life. The ultimate coming down from the Bard. It is going to land onto this Akali, but are they going to want to go for it? Nice Q onto the Akali as well, right after that Tempest Fate ends up going off, but it looks like that might just be the end of this fight. Is it Fate's Tempest? Tempered Fate. That's what it is. Close enough, but man, Akali going deep. Exhaust being used. The Galio currently building up that top, but it's not going to be enough yet. Akali is currently in that shroud, but it is going to end at this point, and that is going to be Miss Fortune picking up a kill. Darius going in now, but he is so weak. Nice amount of healing, but it is not going to be enough. Bard coming back in, trying to get some damage, trying to get some CC, but it looks like the Jace is going to die, but the Jhin paid for it with his life. So currently 16-15 in favor of this red side. The Dragon has spawned, but it doesn't seem to matter. The red side goes, why would you get the Dragon? Why would you be the prom, I don't know, bridesmaid when you can be the prom queen? I don't know, prom princess? Let's call it that. Prom princess when you can be the prom queen. Go and get that Baron. You've got your jungler up. Lee Sin has just respawned. He's only in the mid lane. They do not know that this is happening because of this control ward. And it looks like with the amount of damage that this Miss Fortune and Graves are getting off, I just couldn't. Dishing out was what I was going for, but then I just ended up cursing. So that is going to be the Baron in favor of this Graves. The red side picking up that first Baron of the game, 22.5 minutes in, 42.3k to 37.2k. We finally have a significant gold lead, 5,000 in favor of this red side. And once again, our Miss Fortune has that 700 gold bounty. It looks like the Bloodthirster was the item that she was aiming for. 8-0-4. Still almost 40 CS behind this Jhin, but she has more than made up for that by the fact that she's getting kills, right? She already has she's been part of 12 of the 16 kills so far. So very, very nicely played, roaming when it's appropriate, getting the CS that she needs to stay relevant in this game. But we're going to need to see more coming out of this Jhin. With all that CS that he's accrued during this game, we need to see more damage coming out of him, but currently it just has not been there. So it looks like Miss Fortune picking up that Dragon. Nice smite MF. And that's going to be the second dragon. It looks like the Graves are going right over the wall. Nice death sentence currently landing on from the Thresh, but it looks like it's not going to be quite enough. The Gale Force coming down to try to get a little bit more distance here. The collateral damage is not currently available, but another great death sentence going to land. Is it going to be enough, though? Darius trying to do something, but he's currently 6-0. He just does not have the damage to be threatening this game. Even with the Stride Breaker, it is just not enough. So it looks like they're going to take the Krugs. They're going to just get the Thresh out of this lane, and they are going to call it B. But it looks like the... Oh, I was going to say the death sentence might come out here, but I totally forgot that they had Baron buff, so it didn't really matter. It looks like the Akali going in with very, very little HP, but she does have that Rift Maker, so she's going to stay alive, and that's going to be the execute. The Akali getting a swift kill onto that Galio, barely at any HP, facing a full HP Galio, but it looks like that's not really going to matter because the Misfortune is here to secure this kill, is going to become legendary, and that is going to be Misfortune's 9th kill of this game. Looks like she did go back and picked up a rapid fire cannon, so currently sitting on quite a bit of critical strike, 20, 40, and yeah, 60% critical strike chance right now in the Misfortunes build. So it'll be interesting to see if at some point she does go for that Infinity Edge, just get that little extra buff out of her critical strikes. But right now, we do have a little bit of a team fight. The Flay is going to knock back the Graves for just a little bit of time. The collateral damage is going to miss, but a nice death sentence is going to be enough. That's going to secure the kill onto the Graves, but right now the Jhin is currently dead as well. Nice flash coming down from the Lee Sin to get him into safety. It looks like they are going to turn attention onto that Misfortune. Is she going to be taken down? Is it going to be the Darius? No, the Darius is going to go down to the Bard. An amazing amount of damage onto the Lee Sin, and that is going to be a triple kill for the Misfortune. 12, 0, and 5. She packed them up into a nice little package and sent them back to their fountain with a postcard and a kiss saying that she loves them. But looks like the Akali is going to try to get in here. She does have a ton of damage, and that's going to be the shutdown. 1,000 gold going in favor of that Akali, and a really nice shuriken getting her out of the hero's entrance from the Galio. I don't know if they're going to have enough together to kill this Akali because of that Rift Maker. We saw what happened last time. Really nice juke of the Q. Healing up so much damage. Nobody currently has grievous wounds on this red side, so she is just healing up a storm. And getting those slows down. The magical journey is available. Nice taunt. Shuriken is going to miss, and that might very well be the end of that fight. Very well played by the Galio and the Bard to get themselves out of that one. But boy, howdy, the 1,000 gold shutdown on that Misfortune going over to the 9-3-3 Akali. That is the thing of nightmares as an AD carry. Somebody who can one-shot you so quickly, even through that shield from Bloodthirster. It is not your ultimate saving grace. So going to be interesting to see how they peel this Akali off of the Misfortune, or if they can't peel her off, you're going to have something to worry about. But picking up that triple kill was definitely some well-earned cash in the pocket of Misfortune. Right now, the Bard's score has actually become quite a bit better. Having that Zeke's and also the Locket to keep that Misfortune alive and empower those auto attacks when the ultimate comes off. But he's actually, like, he died 4 times very early on in this game, but ever since then, he's played it very close to the chest. He's done a very good job at peeling and kiting and roaming around, and he hasn't actually picked up a death in the past, what, 15 to 17 minutes? So very well done by him. Galio still has yet to pick up a kill. He's currently just an assist bot with 8 assists, but to be honest, when you've got an Everfrost Galio, you're just looking for those taunts, the knockups with the E, and that Everfrost to peel for the Misfortune, peel for the Graves, and engage on the enemy team. But we do now have the first signs of grievous wounds coming from that JC Executioner's calling being picked up, which I think is going to be very, very impactful. But bullet time coming down onto the Thresh. It's only landing on the Thresh, but this is probably going to be a kill. Very nice cosmic binding from the Bard to secure the kill on that one, making sure that they got the stun against the wall. It's a very, very important talent as Bard to know when your ultimate is going to end, when that stasis effect ends, so that way you can actually get that perfect binding off. Galio currently taking up this Curtain's Call, and it looks like Jason's going to flash over the wall, try to get in here, but it looks like the hero's entrance is going to be landing on 3 people, or sorry, just the Lee Sin, and it looks like the Bard might very well go down to this Galio. Yes, he is going to go down. Misfortune is still alive, but the stasis is not going to last forever, and she doesn't have very many escape routes. Make It Rain is going to slow her down for just long enough for the Graves to pick up a kill on that Akali, and I believe that might have been a shutdown as well, and this is now going to be cracking open the base of this blue side. Looks like the inhibitor turret and the inhibitor are going to be going down, and they are turning tail and looking at the second inhibitor, but Darius currently getting a really nice apprehend onto this Galio. It is going to be enough, and it looks like the Jhin picking up the kill on that one. They are just going to take the turret in the top side, and they are just going to run away from this one. No, they are actually going to stay. Death Sentence incredibly landing onto that Graves, and it looks like with just the Misfortune, she doesn't fancy her chances against the Darius and the Jhin, and it looks like they are currently pinging on that second Cloud Dragon. This would put them at 3 dragons, setting them up nicely for that Cloud Soul. But this match has just been so energetic. Everybody seems to want to fight, and that's we're almost at a 50 kill game, 25 to 22 in favor of this red side, and we're looking at about an 8,000 gold lead in favor of the red team. Baron is up, third dragon is up. Looks like the red team just gonna go for this third dragon and then potentially go for that Baron later. Looks like a very, very nice Tempered Fate landing onto the Lee Sin. Not gonna actually get the stun, but it is not going to matter. Jace with the absolute slam down onto that Lee Sin's head, and that is gonna be no jungler for the next 40 seconds. So if I was this team, I would be taking that dragon, running over to that Baron. They are already pinging it and securing themselves the second Baron of this game. It does look like an Infinity Edge was picked up by this Misfortune. So absolutely insane amounts of damage coming out of this MF. So going to be very, very interesting to see. Currently sitting at how much crit? Why is it not 80%? Critical strike, doing the additional damage from the Infinity Edge. So this is not a Misfortune that you want to mess with. So really the way out of this game for the blue side is potentially a really, really good death sentence. That actually was quite a good death sentence onto the Jace, but it's not going to matter. He is just going to get absolutely melted. Misfortune picking up her 15th kill of this game. A death sentence onto the Misfortune and a pure execute coming from that Akali onto the Misfortune is probably the only way that they have out of this one. But right now, we do have super minions that are Baron empowered, rampaging into this base. Looks like the red side says we are not going to mess with any more stuff here. We are just going to take down these turrets. We're going to knock on the door of your Nexus, and we are going to take this game for ourselves. Darius trying to do whatever he can, but a 1-in-7 Darius cannot do much against a team. But it looks like a great Strikebreaker into the upper hand. Bullet time not going to do a lot, but it is going to do enough damage to pick up the Lee Sin. Galio picking up his first kill of this game. Akali's going in for that execute. Hero's Entrance already being activated, but it's not going to be enough to kill the Misfortune. She's going to survive with just barely any HP. Going to use the heal to keep her alive for just a little bit longer, and she's going to start focusing in on that Nexus, and that is going to be GG. Well played for the red side. Our Misfortune sitting at 15, 1, and 11, 30 to 22. Ladies and gentlemen, what an amazing game from Saint Spoon King, the #1 Misfortune player in the world. Very, very excited to have commentated that one. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like the video, subscribe, of course, and let me know in the comment section what champion you want to see featured next. But before we get to that, let's go and check out the endgame screen to see just how well Misfortune did this game. This was an insane game by this Misfortune. Slow to start, but when they got involved in teamfights, there was nothing holding them back. Misfortune ended the game with 15 kills, 1 death, and 11 assists, giving her an 87% kill participation, which is the most in the game by far. In terms of the damage, she also came out on top, dishing out 27,216 damage, which was almost about 1,000 damage more than the fed enemy Akali. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and get that notification bell on so you won't miss any future videos. My name is Twigger, and I'll catch you all next time.